So this is our test rig. It's just an old Pinto engine, but it runs quite well. And this is where we test all our carburetors once they're been rebuilt and cleaned by us. And we just check to make sure there's no leaks and make sure all the carbs can be balanced correctly. Then everything runs as it should, so we know the carbs are all good to go when they go back to the customer. Yeah, so if you was fitting this onto your own car, you need to have the rubber mounts, because these carburetors need to be flexibly mounted, because if they're rigid then the fuel tends to froth inside the float bowl and give you all kinds of fueling problems. Then we have the Thackeray washers. There are rubber bobbin and cup washer type. It looks like a little spring, and you have to set the tension of the rubber mount and the nut. So there's a clearance here of 25 thou to make sure that you've got the carb correctly seated on the manifold with the right amount of flexibility in the rubber mounts that we use between the carb and the manifold. Well, the best thing about this test rig for us is that we make a video of the carburetors. All carburetors we photograph at the different stages so the customer can see what's been done with the carburetors. We send them photos. We keep a video on file so we know that we've tested them, and we also send the video to the customer as well. I think I mentioned earlier, they're not a USB plug-in play type component. They do need some setting up when they're put in the car. Even once they've been serviced, they don't just bolt straight on. So you do need to know a little bit about how to tune them, how to balance them, how to set the idle, how to set the base mixture. But we always recommend that the vehicle or the engine either go on a dyno or a rolling road, because we can't test them under load, so we don't know that they're exactly jetting perfectly to your application. So we always recommend all our customers, once they get their carburetors back, all serviced and tested on our test rig, that they go to their local rolling road and have them set up on their car. So we had a set of carburetors, that set of Italian 40s that we sent out to a customer. He contacted us and said he had a problem with the carburetors. So I asked him to send them back in, as we would. We looked at the carburetors. Well, in fact, we were actually too busy to do anything with the carburetors at that time. So I just exchanged them for a like-for-like basis, another refurbished set of Italian carburetors. And subsequently, a few weeks later, he contacted me again and told me that the second set of carburetors were faulty. Well, that's unheard of. You know, we very rarely have any issues with the carburetors, or if at all, that we put together. It's generally related to, unfortunately, user error or lack of knowledge when they're installed. So I got him to bring the carburetors to us. I took the carburetors apart first to check inside, and I actually found the fuel was, there's all kinds of broken up debris. It looked like some kind of fuel tank liner where the tank had been refurbished or repaired, or maybe even incorrect fuel line. So there was bits of black pieces, looked like rubber or some kind of lining. The carburetors all blocked up, so we pulled the jets. We gave them a quick clean. They didn't need refurbishing, obviously. Took all the dirty fuel out. We put them on this test rig with the customer here, and within 10 minutes they were all balanced, running correctly, no fuel leaks, went through the rev range, all perfect. And then we sent the customer away. So although that cost us a bit of time, if you like, but we do like to give customer service. Okay, so we've got everything connected. We've made fuel pressure, so we've got fuel in the float chamber. So it's going to be a little bit rough when we start it up because it's cold start and the carbs aren't balanced, mixture screws aren't set. So let's see if we can get it to fire up. balanced. Well, now we've got them evenly balanced, the next thing I would do, while I've got them on the engine, is I would just set the idle mixture. The way to do that by here is you wait until the engine starts to die on the cylinder, and then you come back out until it doesn't really improve, and then just another quarter of a turn, and then they need to be set up on the rolling road. So I can wind this one all the way in. So if we look at the readings now on the vacuum gauge, we've got these pretty much evenly paired on our slave engine there, our test engine. So if you look at the figure, you can see we're 7, 8, just hovering around about 9 on the gauge. And if we check on the other carburetor, we've got them pretty evenly balanced now. Good job. So I'm hoping the customer's going to be happy with those. Once he gets them tuned on his race car, hopefully he's going to win some of his races and do well in his formula. The job's a good one.